So Niger rejected the U.S. trying to do relations with them when it comes to the army to help them with their own insecurity issues. Now, I think this is a good move. I am a little bit critical when it comes to what Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso have been doing as far as just removing themselves from ECOWAS and trying to create their own military pact. I'm not all the way against it, but I mean, you can always have critiques with anything. I'm not so gun-ho about, oh yeah, this is what it is, and like emotional, like overly emotional type response. Like I see a lot of people online where they're like, yeah, get rid of the West and stuff like that. Listen, if you get back to reality, a lot of these African nations don't have a robust military capacity like that. They need help. They need equipment. They're not manufacturing their own equipment. Soldiers, it's not like a lot of them are the elite soldiers of the world or whatever. Like, there's some issues. So you're always going to you do need a partner with other people that just have experience. And what I would like to see done more so in a lot of these African countries, in this case we're talking about West Africa, is some type of development program for their military. Because right now, all the terrorism that's going on is, I don't know how to, Islamists, I guess, or the terrorism that's going on, the Sahel region, it needs to be cut. It should have been cut off a long time ago. Now, I don't want to get into who's funding them. I do think there's always some nefarious actors that are funding the terrorists that are wreaking havoc, especially in Northern Virginia, but Northern Nigeria, and then Mali and all those other places. Like, I definitely know someone is funding though, and most likely the culprit is going to be Western powers or Middle Eastern, whoever. I don't know. I don't have any inside knowledge of that, but there needs to be some type of development program where, hey, you're training soldiers how to really understand and use technology, that, at least manufacturing their own equipment, or like some type of program where it seems like, okay, it's not like they always have to bring in like so-called military bases or like mercenary or anything like that. Like, I want to see more rebuilding of that military industry in a lot of these African nations. So I'm going to play a video that talks about how Nigeria is just revoking the U.S., and then I'll come back with some more commentary.
Niger's junta said Saturday the U.S. military presence in the country is no longer justified, making the announcement on state television after holding high-level talks with the U.S. diplomatic and military officials last week. Niger plays a central role in the U.S. military operations in Africa's Sahel region and is home to a major air base. In reading the statement, the junta spokesman, Colonel Major Amadou Abdramani, stopped short of saying U.S. forces should leave. He said Niger was suspending military cooperation with Washington and added that U.S. flights over the country's territory in recent weeks were illegal. The U.S. military in recent years began operating a major air base in the Niger city of Agadez, some 920 kilometers from the capital of Niamey, using it for manned and unmanned surveillance flights and other operations. In October, Washington officially designated the military takeover as a coup, which triggered U.S. laws restricting the military support and aid that it can provide to Niger.
Yeah, there you go. You heard what they said. The U.S. military is never just gonna come in and risk their own soldiers just for an African nation. There has to be some type of strategic way to go about it. And I'm thinking, because of Russia and them, like Russia trying to really court a lot of African nations and giving them military support, giving them a lot of these West African nations like aid, food, grain, and that type of stuff. The U.S. wants to try to, hey, we can help you out with your insecurity issues. Let's just set up this military base. Like, it seems like that's usually how it goes. Now, I'm not a military expert. I'm not someone that just focusing on what militaries are doing. I think that would be actually be a good channel for someone to focus on. But I'm thinking it's never just to help. Now, America doesn't do anything just to help out a country. So I think in this case, this is a wise move, because the U.S. have military bases all across the world. And you really can't trust. Like, America has shown that they can't be trusted like that. So I think this is a good move. Like I said earlier, like, if there's some type of program, and I don't know, maybe get like advisors and consultants or whatever to create this type of military academy or something like that, where, hey, we're training elite soldiers, we have elite people from across the world that help teach or do whatever. And then also you start looking at the private sector to start manufacturing equipment, manufacturing like just anything that you need, so you can start producing for yourselves, and then also exporting to other African nations. Like, if there's an African nation that just wants, like, I think so, you got Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger that want to make a military pact. Now they have to come together. They're dealing with their issues and stuff like that because they're all landlocked countries. If one of them, while everyone is fighting and doing their thing and try to, I think they will be the best candidate to do these military bases, because their countries are pretty big. They have a lot of deserted land, and I think it will be a good, now I'm not a military expert or whatever. I think that will be a good training ground. Just everything military, have the military on lock. It's not like they can be the best at like planning agriculture or anything like that, but I think if they just focused on just military practices, training, and have those camps, and then have that type of relationship with, okay, the ECOWAS can be like, okay, look, you don't want to be connected economically. We're on the coast, we have the ports, we can still facilitate some type of trade. How about this? We help you with the trade as far as getting your the equipment that you need and shipping and stuff like that. And you do the training of our military or something like that, and then we're all working together. I think that will be, I mean, just in my head, like I said, I'm limited on this, but I think that will be a good move, where one part focuses on military rule and stuff like that, and then the other part focuses on, hey, we can get you the resources. You just take care of whatever insecurity. Of course, some of our people will invest in it too, but I don't know. Whatever the relationship works out, however it works out, I think that would be a good move. But yeah, just having foreign people come in all the time, tell them what to do. Let's set up a base here. I think in the long run, it starts to become a problem, just how that's what France was doing. And then over time, they, at least Mali, they start looking at it like, okay, what have you done to actually help us? What's the progress that we've made? You've been here, I think it was maybe 5 years or something like that. The French army was there, and it's like, it's not even getting any better. Like, you're not doing anything, and I'm sure they're paying them. So it's just like, okay, we got to do something else. Kick France out, France army out. And it's like, hey, you're on your own. So at the end of the day, you're on your own. You got to develop yourself in some way. So I like this move, and let's hope that everything goes well with it. So if you have your own comment, what do you think that they should do differently in order to curb this insecurity issue that's going on in these Sahel regions and what's going on with just the terrorism and stuff like that? I'm curious to know your thoughts. So let me know. I want to hear someone else's perspective that really got it, that really gave it some thought. Like, what do you think is the best solution that's practical? That's why I like to, and when I say practical, like, think about where the money's going to come from to fund, how they're going to manage themselves with just resources, food. You need a lot of food and all that stuff. Like, what do you think is the best way to go about making sure that the region is safer? So I already gave my opinion on what I think that should happen. So I'm curious to know what you think should happen. So I'll see you in the next video.